What's up, Dan? How was the weekend? Was it full of a bunch of regular guy activities? Like, were you out there mowing the lawn? Were you trimming those hedges? Did you go run 1 mile exactly, look at your watch, and then head back in? And then after that, you got home, you did all your regular activities, and then you went back to your regular money line betting. And maybe last night, you took the Dallas Stars against the Colorado Avalanche and you won. But then the day before that, you bet on the Dallas Stars against the Chicago Blackhawks, and they lost. Basically, what I'm trying to say, this is your Monday reminder. If you're betting on money lines, you're a donkey, and this is your reminder not to be doing so. For example, last night, if you were Johnny Colorado, I got to bet those Avalanche. They were at home. They're number one across the board at home. They score the most at home. Rather than bet the Avalanche, just bet Nathan McKinnon at roughly the same price to register over 1.5 points. You would have won that bet. You know he's going for the Hart Trophy. You know that he's going for the Art Ross Trophy. You know he's shooting anything and everything without Mikko Rantanen. So you could have taken the over on his points, the over on his shots on goal, and you would have cleared them both. I want to say relatively easily because he had them covered before the third period. But no, instead, you had to go into your pizzeria because the guy behind the counter who takes your bets, he only takes money lines. You tell him a team name, he writes it down on a piece of paper, and then you show up the following day and have to pay him or collect from him.
Yeah, I'll be here.
And maybe we'll have some opportunities here on this Monday. It's a 2-game, I'm a true hockey fan slate. 2 games with a lot on the line, whether it's playoff positioning or one team fighting to get into the playoffs. These should be 2 quality games to watch. Are these money line games? It depends. Many times when people give money lines, it's all just correlated to value. Like they would look at this first game between Toronto and Pittsburgh, say, look, Pittsburgh's playing great. They're going into Toronto. You never really know when Toronto's going to take a game off because they pretty much know their playoff positioning. So the value is with Pittsburgh. They have to win. They're on the road, plus this getting value. Okay, take them. I don't disagree with it that much, but Toronto's kind of been playing pretty well. You know they play well at home. It's always tough, those Toronto fans will tell you. It's tough to diagnose when the random flat, I'm not trying hard performance is coming from Toronto. Because even in the playoffs, their best players, let's be honest, they're not known for really digging deep and getting in there. They're a finesse team, so when a finesse team mails it in, it just looks really bad. So I'm going to go crevice checking. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check between the crevices. Now, the interesting thing is Mitch Marner's back for Toronto, and they did this thing where they put one guy on each line. They got Matthews on one line, Nylander on another, Marner on another. So it makes things a little slippery in terms of point props with the forwards, figure out where you want to go. But there is someone who we could find value on, and he happens not to be a forward because we know Timothy Liljegren, he's out until the playoffs for the most part. He was on that top power play. Well, Morgan Rielly has since returned, and he's resumed his power play 1 duties. Now, if you think about it, Mitch Marner, him being back on that top power play, we now can return that top power play to exactly where it's been the last 5 years, and it's essentially elite power play status. Now, another thing that you guys have learned this year, the early prices coming off an injury for those defensemen, those power play defensemen. You remember when we talked about Miro Heiskanen and we were getting him minus 105 for a point. You guys remember all those plus money games for Brandon Montour. Morgan Rielly steps right into that role. He's registered points in each of his games back. And I think this is another one, especially on the power play, that he's going to provide value. So on the Leafs side of things, I'm going to go with Morgan Rielly to register a point. On the Pittsburgh side, it's been a Rust Crosby show coming out of my mouth these last couple of weeks. We've been able to nail that on a couple different occasions. We got Crosby's point prop. It moved down to a half. It's obviously not worth the squeeze. I don't know if I want to go that route. But I will say, on that line, they bumped up Drew O'Connor, and his point prop last game was like plus 130. Now, the only problem with him, he's not really on either power play, so you're going to need it to happen in even strength. So I'm staying away from that top line. Yeah, I'm staying away from the Crosby line, although I'll never fault you. I'll never fault you if you want to go the Crosby route. I'm looking at that second line, whose underlying metrics are actually very good, but it got broken up for a little bit because there was an injury. Bunting Malkin and Raquel on that second line, they've been producing, specifically Bunting. He's really added something to that team. It's pretty interesting. And that team obviously is operating with full confidence. But that last game over the weekend against the Lightning, that Bunting-Malkin line, what did they have, 6 points combined or 5 points combined? I'm going to look for them to register points, specifically those two. Give me Malkin and you give me Michael Bunting, because we have that ideal scenario that I've talked about in the past. I talked about it with Vegas, and I've talked about it recently with the Islanders. When you have two line mates on line one, two line mates on line two, and they are the four forwards who comprise the top power play, you have power play one correlation with even strength correlation. You are maximizing your opportunities to nail that player prop duo. And now remember, the price that we're getting on this is better than the Pittsburgh money line price. So why am I going to have to hope that Pittsburgh goes into Toronto and beats them, which they can do, when they can lose 6-2, I get a dinky goal from Malkin or from Bunting, and they both connect on it, and I'm a winner. Why? Oh, why? I am not. That's the answer. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go my route. I got Riley on Toronto. I got Bunting and Malkin on the Penguins to register points on their side. Now, this late game, this is extremely interesting because you want to talk about a lot being on the line in terms of positioning. It's the Vancouver Canucks hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. If Vancouver loses, straight up Edmonton can overtake them. They've been losing a lot of big games. They're not playing well. I thought they were going to be able to beat the Kings and repay the favor when the Kings went into Vancouver and beat them. They kind of stomped them. They're not winning any big games. They struggled to beat Anaheim out there. They really need points, or before you know it, they're going to be down in the 2 seed. It's so interesting. If Vegas wins this, it will put them in the 3 seed and bring Vancouver closer to the 2 seed, and that's going to be a fantastic matchup for Vegas come playoff time. However, on the other side, if Vancouver wins this, it will keep them ahead of Edmonton, and then that will put Vegas in essentially the 8th seed. A matchup with the Stars in round 1 is probably something that you're not going to want, but they did beat the Stars last year in the playoffs, so there is that psychological advantage. Pretty crazy how much can change. I obviously think this game can go either way, but just for you pizzeria guys, you don't have anything better. You have no option. It's pizzeria bets or nothing. Vancouver really needs a win. I imagine we see something that resembles their best effort, but just know, I think this might be Hurdle's first game for Vegas. That doesn't really scare me. A guy in his first game with a new team, it's rare. Even Jake Gensel, who's absolutely murdering it. How many points game 1? The big donut. So I'm going to go with Vancouver to win this one. And then on Vegas' side, I just cannot see some of the prices on that top line. By the way, yesterday, again, Lafreniere assist, Panarin over 1.5 points. The Lafreniere assist was plus 230. I mean, this is getting preposterous. And I think the same exact thing about the top line on the Vegas Golden Knights. These Marchessault, Barbashev prices are absurd. They're both on the top power play. They both play with Eichel, and they both just murdered the Canucks under a week ago. So I don't know. This is one of those, whatever, I'll just lose. I'll lose. But give me the point for Barbashev, which is going to be at plus money, and Marchessault, which is way more affordable than it used to be. I mean, the Barbashev assist, plus 300? Sometimes I try to cook up same-game parlays that get to plus 300. I just don't understand. Plus 300 for an assist is the price of a bum. A bum. And if you don't like him, because I get it, he kind of posts up in front of the net on the power play. He's more of a net front presence. He scores more than he assists. So then do it for Marchessault, who does work the perimeter on the power play. His is plus 220. You can do his assist for plus 220 with the Barbashev point for plus money. And these are just big, fat money payouts that you would need Chicago to beat Dallas again to get some of these prices. So You can continue to work on the outsides. Keep betting on red and black in roulette. I'll look for those big payouts on the inside with advantages, though. Okay, it's a small slate here on a Monday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you are subscribed here to my YouTube page. If you just found my channel and you've been enjoying these videos, thank you. I am enjoying that you are enjoying them. You know how I can enjoy that even more? I can enjoy your enjoyment even more if you engage with these videos. And why do I want that? Because I'm still stuck in, the single-digit thousands. I'd love to be 120,000, but I'm not. The only way that happens is if those single thousands tell those tens of thousands, and that's what I'm hoping to do, especially now with the playoffs around the corner. So like, comment, engage with these videos. I already reminded you guys I'm going to hell for all this asking, and I'm going to take my sentence because I hate doing this every day. I hate asking people for engagement, but I need it. So do me a favor, engage, and I will be back with you guys tomorrow for some Tuesday sniffs on a big slate. We got that, might be that final nail in the coffin for those Washington Capitals who have lost every single game since I rooted for them to beat Detroit. It started in Detroit, and tomorrow it ends in Detroit. Take it easy. I will talk to you then.